Hi. No, it's not. Oh, it is. It is. Hello and welcome to this episode of Styling Your Tables. It's a true pleasure being here, and I hope to inspire you all. The setup I'm doing today is more for a home setup, but we do work with a lot of home chefs, caterers, hotels to do their permanent decor setup, and this is a glimpse of that. I was thrilled to see someone whose food I have, who's done my done the food for my own wedding and seen that company grow. And they do some beautiful work, a lot of small mono portions, tapas. I don't know, I would love to know how many of y'all over here are from the catering industry. Most of y'all. How many of y'all are into mono portions, small servings, individual? Lovely, so good. That I know. Yeah. So my setup is a smaller setup, but considering mono portions. Yeah. I'm going to quickly start with the center table. Logs. नहीं चलेगा नहीं I have these pots that look like terracotta, but they're actually metal. I'm using artificial flowers today just to keep it simple and keeping in mind the turnaround time for other speakers. If you all have any questions about what I do, it's a great time to ask while I work on the table. You do get a lot of gorgeous, beautiful quality for flowers also. उसको बोलो ना फोन करो फोटो सोबू को बुलाओ So a simple rule I always follow is when I have my buffet set up, I always keep my decor as high as I can, and when you're doing a sit down, you keep it as low because you want to encourage conversations. The idea today is to show how quickly one can just transform a table. Nirendra. हाँ सब देते जाओ ना Thank you. Placing my mono portion servings here. So something like a dahi vada or a chaat or a bhajia with the chutney that's not going to get soggy would work very well on something like this. bed platter. If you're doing a home setup and you don't have a lot of food on the main course and just heavy on the appetizers, you could pull all your decor towards the end. That way you have more scope of decor and your table doesn't look empty. All our products are mindfully developed by ourselves. They are not products that are picked up of the vendors. We really spend a lot of time in developing the design and planning the product. This one's one of my favorite. It's a tiny jug. And recently when I was hosting at my house, I had a small, and it was an unplanned meal, right? But you yet have to make it nice, you yet have to make it fancy. We had the tiny idlis and then we had the rasam in this and we just served it together and the guests just really appreciated that. So it's just a small efforts. If you pre-plan, they're just very easy to execute. और नहीं है देखिए okay. So I usually do these table styling workshops across the country. I've never had such a quiet audience who's just watching me and not asking questions. I hope you all are having a good time. Go ahead. It's a great time to ask questions when I'm setting up the table. Thank you.
So yeah, every time when you plan a table like this, the theme is always different. The food cuisine is also different. So how do you choose the cutlery and how can we have such a huge
Inventory?
Yeah, and particularly things like these,
Okay.
like plates and cups and things, saucer, that is possible. But something like this, because this is a very, like every season, every month, you have something new coming up. So
Correct.
how do you balance it?
Okay. Every time I work with a new catering company, my first question would be to you, where are you based? What is your typical catering size?
So we are based in Bombay, but this particular question is we are actually thinking of a brand which is like for more like house catering and smaller set of people, say about 25 to 50 people. So that's where I feel that something like this is more appreciated.
Correct.
Because when it's
Correct.
cozy and
But we have audience over here, huh, that does it for
Yeah,
2,000 people catering
I know,
also.
definitely, definitely. So obviously we can
Yes,
scale it
of course,
to that.
of course. So then I would say, whenever you're investing, you invest 10 to 15% more than your catering order capacity. So even if there's breakage, you yet have the life of the product. Because if the manufacturer discontinues the product, then you're going to be stuck. So if you are doing like a 40 people, 45 people catering, you probably want to invest in 55 pieces. So over a period of time, if you have breakage, you yet have an inventory that will last you for a couple of more months or, yeah.
How do you find pieces like these? Like how? What is your? This is a very personal question. Like as in terms of how do you find your references and what would go with that? I mean, how do you?
So my pieces are There are a lot of brands also. There are a lot of international brands that have made their way into the country. There are a lot of these expos that happen across the country where they facilitate sourcing also. For us, we actually design, we actually pin it down to the size, we actually do back and forth. So if something like this came to me 4 months ago, it came as a flat dish. Now I would want a little depression only so that if there's a slight amount of gravy, थोड़ा रसा होता है तो वो बाहर नहीं निकलना चाहिए, किसी के साड़ी पे नहीं गिरना चाहिए. So we've created a little depression. So as I said, we don't pick up products straight. We kind of actually
Yeah, give
get
a
them
thought
right.
over it that you know how it's going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
और कुछ है? wood देना, wood. और एक है? नहीं है. So I feel, this is what I feel even with hotels, that these mono portions are very helpful because I feel there's so much less wastage of food when we are doing mono portions, and it's just very convenient even for networking events. People can just go pick up what they want, get along in conversation, and enjoy their bites as well. Any questions, anyone? Would you all like to come forward and see the table? You all are very welcome. So also for catering, if you're not using fresh flowers, you do get very good artificial flowers. Solar wood flowers also work very well because they're going to last you long, and you don't need to get a florist every time you are setting up the table. If you are giving a package with decor, you can also look at a lot more prop heavy decor versus a floral heavy decor. So few standout pieces of candle stands and those kind of props also make it very easy. You can just go put them and your table just looks dressed up. You can also use dry flowers. They were very much in vogue the last 2-3 years. The vogue has tamed down, but it's just very convenient, very practical because then you can reuse them. The fresh flowers, just you'll need the florist, you need the OSs. It is a messy job. That's why I didn't choose fresh flowers here also today. But they of course look very, very nice, but just as a starter, it just becomes far more complicated. Hi. Sorry. और कुछ सामान नहीं है उधर. Check करो. हाँ तो लाओ.
Hi, I would like to know if this with the minimum inventory you have got this setup, right? So if we have to do multiple variations in this much setup, would you help us to just style in many other different ways with this kind of setup, please?
Correct. So mainly what will happen, your servings remain more or less the same. Sorry, am I too loud? Your servings remain more or less the same. What will change, you can change your decor depending on the theme. So if you're doing an Asian, if you're doing an Indian.
I exactly understood that's fine. But what am I asking you is, when you have used this as a setup, this as a prop, so can you teach us more variations? What can we do in this also
In terms of the decor or for the food?
for the decor?
For the decor.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is the decor I've carried for today. But now, suppose I'll just give you oral ideas. If you have your dim sum boxes, how about bringing your dim sum boxes, adding the same flowers also, and you will just turn, and probably some those bamboo fans that you get, and it becomes like a Asian look. Is that what you were trying to ask me? No, I yet haven't got your question.
Rearranging the whole thing, giving a multiple setup look, because what happens, we being into catering business, we have certain setup. So, we have this much stuff only.
Correct. When you say setup, what do you mean? What of the props do you mean?
Yeah, all this much props only.
So the
Can we
stand
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
okay.
So with that, what variations can we do for the decor? That's what my question
Look,
was.
if you're using the same platters, the same mono portions, and the same decor, it's all going to always be the same. One of the variants has to change. It's like my this outfit. Either I remove the belt and make the outfit look different, or I change my shoes, or I change my.
Exactly.
So,
So what am I trying to ask
so
you
one
is,
of the three variants has to change.
yeah, so exactly I'm asking you the layouts, the different layout in the same setup.
Okay, so what you can do is we can do a one-sided decor as I spoke, and I can do that right away. Nirendra. नहीं हाँ पूरा साइड में. Is that what you meant, right, Disha?
Because I'm your big fan.
Oh,
I
how
follow
sweet.
you on Instagram very regularly.
How kind of you. Thank you. What is your catering company called?
By DPS.
Okay. Thank you. Why don't you come forward and help me? Come na. Anybody else wants to come and play around is very welcome. Okay, there.
Anyone from the audience would like to join here?
Maybe like a bow.
Most welcome. The ladies especially. Come, join.
Yeah, we'll add them. So everything tall goes at the back, anything short goes in the front. Logs, bolo na usko. I'll just get some logs. I'll just get some logs so we can add some more height to this. So these are my very popular cane covers. It's basically to cover the food. So if you have a salad or something, you cover and keep, so there are no flies or anything. We have one more color in this, I think. Or this. So these have the covers. We want these covers for them. Those are for these baskets. क्या है? उसको बोलो फोटो क्यों नहीं ले रहा है? वो क्या कर रहा है वो?
We can give a boho as a name, and maybe a boho setup and stuff like that. People would
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
People want a trendy name.
Yeah, yeah.
interesting question. Can I have the mic, please? Hi, Gulaba, I have a very interesting question. He is asking that what kind of cuisine, what kind of props, and what kind of cutlery or crockery you would use. Like for an example, when we talk about chaat, for chaat we use terracotta or we use some other material like patta and stuff like
Patta.
that. So when it's Italian, what could be the best prop to use as a cutlery or a crockery as a prop for Italian food, for Mexican, for the world cuisine? That's what his
For
question
Italian, Mexican, and Lebanese, I would yet continue using my terracotta. I feel terracotta works very well for all these three cuisines. And for Italian, I would add a little more glassware also and ceramic also. So you know, you buy when you're procuring, what I highly recommend, procure things that are neutral. Again, I'll go back to the example of dressing up because girls love dressing up. आप जीन्स बाय करेंगे तो आप बार बार पहन सकेंगे. हाँ, आप कुछ प्रिंटेड पैंट बाय करेंगे तो वो 2 या 4 बार पहन सकेंगे. हाँ, तो
બાંબુનું જે કીધું એ બાંબુમાં શું શું આવે? એક તો થાઈ આવે.
Yeah, so for bamboo we can use all the Asian cuisine when it comes to Japanese, Thai,
yeah, even Italian,
everything,
Mexican.
yeah.
I feel most of the natural material that are available can be used across cuisine. Money Asian, Japanese, Chinese, Burmese, Indian में भी अभी कितना we are doing. I feel it's so in trend, the Indian food, and even Mexican, even Italian, it will go well. Thank you.
બીજું કઈ question છે?
નહીં પણ એમ હવે ખબર પડે કે શું ચાલે.
So થોડુંક આવું લેવાનું જે ફેંકી દેવાય, થોડુંક
ગુલાબભાઈ,
થોડુંક આવું લેવાનું જે ફેંકી દેવાય, થોડુંક ક્રોકરી લેવાનું, તો મિક્સ એન્ડ મેચ વર્ક્સ વેરી વેલ.
because now in our industry also people have become very cautious about not using plastic.
કરેક્ટ.
People want substitute for plastics. So what could be a good option if you could help us for the disposable besides plastic also?
So the bamboo ones are great. Are a lot of NGOs that are making the leaf crockery, that also works very well. And then I feel it's always nice to have some that are reusable, because any form of use and throw material does create a certain amount of wastage, and also cost effective eventually. I'll just make this a little more Indian. आप लेके आओ ना.
Sorting of representations within ideal undercooked words.
Yeah, so I've literally filled up my whole table in a minute with the solar gajras. I'll just organize it once so we get a nice picture and इधर लगा दो. Hi, yeah. So you can also just throw in tons of mogra, and if everything else is on your table is even artificial, and you just throw in tons of mogra or tagar if you don't want to add fragrance because you are doing food, that also just gives a very fresh, rich look. Yeah. Um, any more questions? Anyone from the audience? Yeah. Also, supposes you're doing a smaller sit down and your table is much larger, which is not a problem that we have in Bombay, but in a lot of small towns, I've seen at homes also they have a large table and you have a smaller table for your lesser number of people sitting on the table. I would move this whole table decor on one side at an angle. So if it's a table of 12, I would cover, and there are only 4 or 5 people sitting. I would leave the 4 or 5 place settings over there and angle rest of my decor. So the table doesn't look empty. At the same time, you're not obstructing conversation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.